Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
My vision rests on a principle that has defined this campaign right from the beginning. And you've seen where we've come from and where we are right now. It's called America First. Every African American citizen in this country is entitled to a government that puts their jobs, wages, and security first. I'm asking today for the honor of your vote and the privilege to represent you as your president.
Live from an undisclosed location.
With 13 days left in this election, we cannot stop for a minute. No complacency here. Nobody flagging. We've got to get everybody out to vote.
Unchained and unstoppable.
Anna, for the last year, I've heard you bash Mr. Trump. Who are you supporting? Who are you supporting?
Listen,
I would love to know that question.
Scotty,
we're 13 days out.
Well, first of all, let me just say this. I haven't been bashing him for the last year. I've been bashing him for the last 19 months.
So
since June 16th, 2015. When
who are you supporting?
Well, do you want to let me answer, or do you just want to continue interrupting me?
You just go on. It's a real simple answer. Who are you supporting?
I am voting, writing in my mom.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
We're way ahead in Ohio. We're way ahead in Iowa. We're doing great in North Carolina. I think we're actually winning. And I have a feeling that it's going to be a tremendous victory.
We are going to win back the White House. We're going to win it back, folks.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Yes, indeed. We'd all like to do some private sector stuff. All right. We have breaking news today about the Hillary Clinton email FBI cover-up scandal. You know, a couple of days ago, the Wall Street Journal reported that the longtime Clinton confidant, Governor Terry McAuliffe of Virginia, he's been a bundler. I'm using the other B word, not the B word that I would prefer to use for Terry McAuliffe when it comes to the Clintons. He's been a bundler. He's given them a lot of money. He's the one who loaned them the money to buy Chappaqua, their mansion in suburban New York, after they left the White House. He's a multimillionaire on his own. He has a campaign account in Virginia where he's the governor, and he gave $500,000 to the wife of the number 2 guy in the FBI who was in charge of brooming the criminal probe of Hillary Clinton. He gave $700,000, one from a committee he ran and then one from a second committee he ran. So he gave $700,000 to the wife of the FBI agent who was in charge of brooming the email investigation, which, as we all know, was done. A scandal of huge proportions here. Now it turns out that there is even more of a scandal to what happened. This is a follow-up to the Wall Street Journal's front page story of a couple of days ago. Now it turns out that Hillary Clinton herself headlined the fundraiser for the McAuliffe campaign group that raised the money that was given to the FBI agent's wife, the $500,000 that was given to the FBI agent's wife, the FBI agent who broomed the scandalous email investigation and made sure that no charges were filed against Hillary or any of her minions. This is the case where they were all allowed to get immunized for their testimony, and then Cheryl Mills, in addition to being immunized, was allowed to claim attorney-client privilege with the Clintons, and they just had this desultory 4-hour interview with Hillary Clinton. They didn't record anything. They didn't take notes. It was a broom job from day one.
And you know what we're learning now? Angelina Jolie was just interviewed by the FBI for the Brad Pitt child abuse allegations. She was interviewed for longer than Hillary was.
Hillary Clinton headline. This is the Daily Mail, not the New York Times or the Washington Post. The Daily Mail in London. Hillary Clinton headlined a major fundraiser for a political action committee shortly before the group steered nearly $500,000 to the wife of the FBI honcho, who broomed the Clinton email investigation. Clinton's ties to the Common Good VA, a Virginia state PAC run by Clinton's longtime friend and advisor Terry McAuliffe, now the governor, came under scrutiny this week after the Wall Street Journal reported that the group had donated heavily to the state Senate campaign of Jill McCabe. Her husband, Andrew McCabe, led the FBI whitewash of Clinton's emails. Man, again, think back to Watergate. This is so much worse than Watergate. There's so many more smoking guns here. There's a smoking forest here. And nothing to see here, folks. This will not be on the network newscast tonight, I'll tell you that. Common Good Virginia, that's the one that Hillary raised the money for, was the largest single donor to the wife of the FBI broom artist, giving her $467,000 between June and October of last year. She received an additional $208,000 from the Democrat Party of Virginia, a group over which McAuliffe, the Clinton confidant, shall we say, exerts significant control. Combined, the money made up nearly 1/3 of her total funding. She lost, by the way. She spent $2 million and she couldn't get elected to the state Senate. She must have been a really outstanding candidate. And this is from Ken Bohm, the chairman of the National Legal and Policy Center. The fact that Hillary Clinton's inner circle was raising substantial funds for Governor McAuliffe's PAC, and this same PAC gave close to $500,000 to the campaign of the wife of the senior FBI investigation involved in the Clinton investigation whitewash, sure looks like a payoff, a major payoff. What was already a serious corruption story now looks that much worse. By the way, this group that was giving all the money to the wife of the FBI agent who was in charge of making sure Hillary didn't get indicted, they also got big money from other names that will be familiar to you if you've been reading the WikiLeaks. $50,000 from Doug Band. You know who he is? He's the guy that's always complaining about how Chelsea is out to stab him in the back. He's been an aide to Bill Clinton for 20 years, so he gave $50,000 to the operation here to make sure that Hillary didn't get indicted. $10,000 from Clinton mega donor Stephen Klubeck in Nevada. Bill Clinton associate Ron Burkle in California. He chipped in $100,000. He owns a bunch of supermarkets out in L.A. He was trying to buy the L.A. Times a few years back. And another $50,000 from a guy named Leonard Lauder in New York, who is he's a finance committee member of the Ready for Hillary PAC. So all these people that had ties to Hillary Clinton and had reason to not want her to be indicted, they were all chipping in money to this group that was then funneling the cash to the wife of the FBI agent. I mean, how odiferous is this? I mean, how bad is this? And yet, the mainstream, nothing to see here, folks. Move along. Why are you even? She didn't win the race, okay? So that makes it okay that this woman didn't win the race. And what are we supposed to make of the FBI now? Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court Justice, was saying all of our institutions are being destroyed. I mean, some of them have already been destroyed. The FBI, I mean, they've had scandals here and there. Certainly had one in Boston here with Whitey Bulger, New York with the Columbos. There have been scandals over the years, but now this is endemic, systemic corruption of the
Come on, he's
Federal
only
Bureau.
the number 2 guy.
His wife took $700,000 from the Clintons, and then he broomed the case. You just imagine this. Think about this if it were a Republican administration. There would be calls for the resignation of the President of the United States.
I'd like to look up the campaign spending report and see what she spent that money on.
$2 million, a state Senate race. $2 million. I think Scott Brown, he ran in my district as a state senator. I doubt he spent $40,000. That was a special election. That was a big money campaign here in Massachusetts in like 2008, somewhere in there. $2 million on a state senate, and she lost. She lost. How terrible. She was a physician. She is a physician. I mean, how bad a candidate must she be? 1-844-500-4242, and we also have the John Kerry, there's a genocide going on in Syria. You may have heard that, but John Kerry doesn't have to worry about it. He goes to the NFL game between the Steelers and the Patriots on Saturday. Sits in the visiting owner's box, then goes to his second wife's first husband's trust-funded mansion in Fox Chapel. Then he flies back to Boston and he goes to the private Rolling Stone concert hosted by Bob Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, on Tuesday night. Now he's given an interview to David Axelrod, a chief fixer in Chicago for Barack Obama, and he tells us Axelrod tries to get him to tell us, how are we going to get peace in Syria?
How do we unwind what is this horrific situation? And obviously it's had enormous spillover impact in terms of the refugee populations and the suffering of civilians. What's the way forward here?
End the war. I mean, we can't... I think, the endless paying of big checks to take care of refugees is not the ultimate solution. The ultimate solution is to not have the refugees.
What's the way forward here? End the war. Why didn't we think of that? Tony, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, Howie, my man, how you doing?
Good.
Listen, Howie, I told Grace, this goes back to 9/11, brother, when that wonder of wonders, Jane Swift, right?
Yeah.
Said to that other wonder of wonders,
the acting governor of Massachusetts at the time. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Virginia Buckingham was in charge of Massport, right?
Logan Airport.
When 9/11 went down, right?
Yes.
And what'd she do? She gave her a $240,000 severance check and another job working for the state, man.
Right.
That's where this, yeah.
And now her husband was appointed to a Superior Court judgeship, and he's now on the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts. Yeah.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah, David Lowy is his name, Lowy. He was just appointed by Charlie Baker, the governor currently, to the SJC, the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts. Married to Jenny Buckingham. Yes, who was
why don't we all have a time and have Lois Lerner and the fake Indians show up and we can have a powwow?
He got everybody in there. He got all the hacks going back 15, 20 years, Democrats and Republicans alike. Good call, Tony. Victor, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Victor.
Hey, Howie, how you doing?
Good.
Just a quick comment. On Senator Kerry. His conflict resolution has been perfect. When he went to the Paris peace talks, he sat on the communist side of the table. And Vietnam is still communist. It's amazing. He did a great job.
Yeah, and wasn't he wearing his his naval uniform when he went over there? Like he was like a representative of the U.S. government? Remember that?
Right, which is against the law, against the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
I believe it is, yes.
But,
yeah,
and Howie, he's the show horse because we're the plow horses. We're out there doing the work, paying our taxes, trying to do the right thing. And he's like every other politician that I know. They cannot become rich and famous and powerful in the private sector. So where's the best place to go to get rich and powerful? It's a government job. You hide in the bushes. You do these unscrupulous deals in like $1,000, and she did 100 trades, and she was perfect on all of them.
Yeah. The cattle futures. The cattle futures. Right. The guy from Tyson Foods was playing both ends of the market, and then they would only charge her if she won. Yeah, exactly. And then she claimed that she was reading the Wall Street Journal Commodities Future column. That's how she learned. Thanks for the call, Victor. This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Perfect Smiles. Don't be fooled by imposters with similar names. Go to Perfect Smiles in Nashua, New Hampshire. That's perfectsmiles.com. I'm Howie Carr.
That's right, Howie Carr.